Tonight on All Systems Go, we've got film nerds.
And we've got Moxie. All Systems Go starts right now.
Hello and welcome to All Systems Go, the only show licensed to drive the Batmobile. I'm Nick Nutcase.
And I'm Jenica Joker. Let's jump right in. Animal Crossing's got some updates, and yes, the Froggy Chair is finally here, and we couldn't be happier. Other updates include Brewster's Cafe and the return of Captain, as well as some ordinances to augment how your island operates, such as making your villages wake up earlier or reducing the number of weeds that sprout up. If you're interested in learning the rest of the new updates to the New Horizons, check out the Nintendo Direct that dropped on October 15th.
Is it a bird? Is that a plane? No, it's DC's second annual DC Fandom, the near 4-hour-long preview event of all things DC. The streaming event held this past weekend gave fans a taste of what to expect for the future of the DC multiverse, including TV shows, movies, video games, comics, and more. Viewers of the affair were treated to special looks of the Batman, the Flash, Super Pets, video games, Gotham Knights, and the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, the upcoming Peacemaker show, and about 6 more million sneak peeks that can't fit on my fingers. A full list of the DC Fandom announcements and trailers are available on DC's website.
In a surprising turn of events, Disney has once again announced delays for several upcoming films. The postponements will affect Marvel movies coming out in 2022 and beyond, as well as the new Indiana Jones sequel. Disney has yet to report if future Disney Plus show releases will be altered from the new schedule. The only unchanged release date for the Marvel saga is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will still premiere May 5th, 2023.
Calling all Mob Psycho 100 fans. If somehow you haven't heard, production on a 3rd season was just announced over on the Mob Psycho 100 Twitter via a brand new trailer. All of the cast and crew from the first 2 seasons will be returning, but with a new director, Takahiro Masui, who had previously directed episodes on Skate Infinity. Mob Psycho 100 has no set release date as it's currently in production, but you can check out more on their Twitter for updates.
Netflix treated us to a new teaser of the live-action Cowboy Bebop adaptation yesterday morning. The trailer doesn't actually show footage from the show, but it does feature the main characters Spike Spiegel, Jet Black, and Faye Valentine in action. The show will be a 10-episode series following the trio as they cosmos hop as bounty hunters. The main trailer for the show will release next week on October 26th, and the show will premiere on November 19th.
In standard Call of Duty fashion, COD Vanguard will be receiving a zombies game mode set in Vanguard's World War II aesthetic. But rather than a traditional wave after wave style, players will be traveling to various maps to complete different objectives, fight new enemies, unlock new abilities, and set abilities are called runes, which can range from unique weapons to status effects. The whole thing looks straight from Doom Eternal, so get excited COD fans, because Call of Duty Vanguard and its zombie game mode release this November 5th.
Don't go away, because after the break, we've got reviews on top of reviews.
All Systems Go will be right back after this. Tim Burton made a Batman movie in 1989, but I wasn't on the show in 1989, so I'm going to talk about it right now. We got our first sneak peek of the upcoming Flash movie at DC Fandom this week, and being a multiverse film, it incorporates past films into its narrative, specifically Batman from the 1989 film Batman, featuring Mr. Mom star Michael Keaton as Batman. And I thought, now that it's re-entering the mainstream, I'd like to talk about Batman 89 and why I love it so much. First of all, this is a Tim Burton movie, so that's why it looks like that. But before this film, Batman was only known by the mainstream as the goofy 60s guy who had a surf battle with the Joker and fought sharks on a helicopter. So a movie like this was a pretty big deal for the character. The film itself is pretty straightforward. Joker gets into a bunch of shenanigans around Gotham while Batman is trying his darndest to stop him, all while evading the police. Meanwhile, Bruce Wayne, who you might recognize as Michael Keaton from Jack Frost, where he plays the titular role Jack Frost, is courting Vicky Vale, a street-smart reporter trying to uncover Batman's true identity, and will totally be in the next movie. Also, Billy D. Williams is there sometimes too. Now, the plot itself is pretty standard Cape Flick stuff, and honestly, nothing special. The movie kind of speeds past the origin story, so it's like dead parents, boom, adult in a bat costume. You don't really spend any time on Bruce's journey to become Batman, no training montage, no well scene we return to 4 times, Nolan. It just goes right into Batman beating up some homeless guys, and I'll be honest, that scene rules. But the movie doesn't take the time to develop real complex characters or get too deep with anything. It's all pretty shallow, and I love it. On paper, this movie's pretty lame, but oh boy, does it make up for it with its presentation! This film's art style is on another level. Tim Burton brought his A-game in every department, from the smoky, claustrophobic slums of Gotham to the ridiculously huge suits of armor-infested hallways of Wayne Manor. Burton makes everything this larger-than-life cartoon version of reality that really makes the movie stand on its own. There's no set time period the film takes place in. It's a combo of 80s tech and fashion with 30s architecture and vehicles. The question wasn't, does this make sense, but rather, does it look cool? And it totally pays off. Can Batman even move his neck? No, but the suit looks so cool, who cares? Did Batman have to stall the Batwing this high up? No, but does it look sick as f***? Yes. Why does the final confrontation take place in the peak of a dilapidated bell tower? Because midway through production, Tim Burton saw a performance of Phantom of the Opera where the climax takes place in a bell tower, and he was like, that looks cool, I'm gonna do that in my movie. And then he did. That's a real story. Okay, now does Batman try to literally kill the Joker with a minigun and missile launchers? Yes, he does. But you need to understand, this isn't a Batman movie. It's a Tim Burton Batman movie. He plays very fast and loose with the character, taking lots of liberties in many areas, such as the no-kill rule, which in any other scenario I would be vehemently against, by the way. But this movie is very consistent about style over substance. So the decision to make Batman kill sometimes isn't a huge deal because it isn't really trying to adhere to the Batman norms. It's not really trying to be a Batman movie. He does kill like a lot of people though. And I love how Burton treats Bruce Wayne as this kind of like nut job, borderline insane person.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
It's not really comic accurate at all, but if all you knew about Batman was that he was a rich guy who dresses up as a bat at night and beats up criminals in alleyways, you'd think he was crazy too. And I haven't even mentioned the soundtrack. What is there to say about perfection? Danny Elfman literally injects sound heroin right in your ears for 2 hours and 6 minutes. It's so iconic, and it's really, really good. So Batman 89. Hard recommend. It's on HBO Max. Please watch it. Its sequel, Batman Returns, is good too, but I'm not talking about that one, so don't ask me about it. But yes, Danny DeVito is in it. I just really hope they do this version of the character justice in The Flash 2022, because in all honesty, I don't have a lot of faith in this movie, but who knows, okay? At least we get to see Multiplicity star Michael Keaton back in the cowl one last time.
Special guest Tristan and Noah made a review of The Many Saints of Newark for us. Let's see what those Goombas thought.
Ready? I woke up this morning and I got yourself a gun. You got yourself a gun.
Welcome to Motion Picture Review. I'm Noah.
And I'm Tristan.
And today we watched The Many Saints of Newark. We got our gabagool. You know some meats?
Yeah. This film is supposed to be a prequel. It takes place when Tony Soprano was a kid.
In the, what, 60s? 70s?
60s and 70s.
If you're a fan of The Sopranos, then don't watch it for the story.
Don't watch this movie for the story.
Because the writing is not good.
What? Nothing. Actually, that's it. Nothing.
I'm not sure I follow.
Yeah.
Okay?
The trailers would lead you to believe this is the story of Dickie Moltisanti, Tony Soprano's uncle. And how he influenced Tony to become the mobster that he is today. But we don't really get that. It doesn't even focus on Dickie for the majority of the movie.
I'd say about half the movie is focused on Harold.
We're bouncing that ball.
Go do something useful, man.
Played by Leslie Odom Jr. He worked for Dickie Moltisanti, and Harold decides he's going to become his own mobster for his own mob. I think both of these storylines, Harold, Dickie Moltisanti, had potential to be really good if they were on their own and focused on their own.
Because what we get instead is this kind of like ping pong back and forth between the stories. We're like 40, 45 minutes into the movie, and we're just kind of waiting.
Dickie Moltisanti,
I don't know what sauce.
played by Alessandro Nivola. I thought you did all right.
I thought he was good. I would like to see that actor
Do
as
something
another
else,
character.
yeah.
Tony Soprano.
Played by his son, Michael Gandolfini.
Cool, man. A hamburger.
Was all right.
He just wasn't in it a lot. It was just kind of his reactions to what was going on.
Cool, man. A hamburger.
Olivia
Yes.
Soprano, who was
Played by the lady from The Conjuring.
Yes.
Vera lived up to it.
Played her very well.
to a T.
Her mannerisms, the way she spoke, she was just fantastic.
Yeah.
Good old Ray Liotta.
And Ray Liotta plays Dicky Moltisanti's dad.
Yes.
Just to sum his character up, we're going to play this clip. Set design and costume design, which was phenomenal. The cinematography was really great too. Very artistic, much more than I would have expected.
So the story is not great.
No.
The characters and callbacks are,
They're fun.
and the set design, the look of everything,
Very nice.
but it doesn't give the same feel as the show, and I think that's where the disconnect is.
And I think that's what a lot of people wanted.
So Noah, how many gabagools would you give this movie on a scale from 1 to 5?
A 2 gabagools. The story was lacking, and that was the biggest part for me. I came into this movie wanting a good story about how Tony Soprano came to be, and I did not get that. What would you rate it?
A 2.5 out of 5 gabagools.
Okay.
Expecting a cool mafia movie. Instead, I got a story. It separated itself into two things that would have been good if they were fully fleshed out in their own movies.
This has been a motion picture review. I have been Noah.
And I've been Junior Soprano.
After the break, we'll join Liam for his spooky discussion of all things horror movies. All systems go. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to All Systems Go, and on this week's discussion panel, we're talking about horror movies. I mean, it's October, so let's do it. So, in terms of horror, what's like your favorite genre of movies? Is it like a post-apocalypse, slasher, paranormal? Any of you guys?
I personally like a good old horror comedy. Like, I want something I can have fun with. Just,
Yeah, I don't like getting scared too much. I'm not the biggest fan of gore, and psychological thrillers really just mess with my brain, so I'm kind of just there to have a good time.
I really don't like slashers. I think they're too like bloody and violent for me and not actually that scary because you know it's fake. So I really like thrillers.
Honestly, anything that is full of suspense. I like horror movies that are kind of campy, something I can maybe have a laugh through, even if it's not intended for me to laugh at.
So, following actually up with your comment then, Max, are there any like bad horror movies that you just absolutely love?
The Elevator. Go on.
I got it. I got it. I got the answer. The answer is The Babysitter. It is a Netflix movie. It is described as a horror and a comedy, and you can really tell that. There's just so much blood. It's so blatant, and it's like, it's not scary in the slightest.
Killer Clowns from Outer Space. That's all I'll say on the matter.
I really like Army of Darkness because it's really goofy and just weird, but it's so good at the same time.
I call it silly. I call it goofy. It's a good movie. It's called The Devil. It's about 5 people. They walk into an elevator, and then they're trapped in the elevator, but one of them is the devil himself.
No.
Yes!
No.
And it's silly, and I love it.
All right, so can you guys tell me in like serious horror movie ways that is a good movie, one of your favorite horror movies?
The Mist.
I like Get Out.
It's not a serious horror movie. I'm not sure it really counts, but Rocky Horror Picture Show. And if you don't count that, then Little Shop of Horrors, the musical. Although the movie is good too.
The movie's
Like,
pretty solid.
the movie musical is good. Also the movie. Black and white. There's a lot of versions.
My favorite is the modern It movies, which I know is really basic, but I love them because I think they're fun and they're scary.
You like Tim Curry?
Do you enjoy the old It movies as well?
I've never seen it. I really want to see it.
I think they kind of still hold up a little bit nowadays. I don't know. If you're scared of clowns, I think it'll still scare you.
I'm just saying.
But moving on to my next question. Sorry about that. When you guys are going to see a brand new horror movie, what is it that you guys are looking for in a horror movie? Like, what are you guys trying to get out of it?
Oh, sorry.
Oh,
you go.
you go first.
No, you go.
Okay.
You go.
I personally want like a villain who's got a reason. Like if it's like some like creature killing to survive, that's a reason. That counts. If it's just someone who's like, and now I'm gonna kill people with no substance, like you gotta give the villain a little bit too.
I like a good adrenaline rush. That's really all I need. Just, good little jump scare every once in a while to keep me going. I'm a simple girl with simple pleasures.
I really like horror movies that are more than just scary, like they're well written and they have like a good story. And I really like horror movies with plot twists. Those are my favorite.
Also horror movies that I can laugh at just a little bit. Like if I can get a little chuckle in there, yes please.
Yeah, honestly, as long as it keeps me like on the edge of my seat, something that's all about suspense. If a horror movie that has no jump scares and is still able to terrify me, that's chef's kiss. Exactly what I want.
So, I haven't heard that much talk about like paranormal in terms of horror movies, but I kind of want to like go into that topic a little bit. Are there some like paranormal horror movies that you guys enjoy, and like Insidious? I would classify that as paranormal, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Is The Nun paranormal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna say The Nun.
We'll take it.
It's not really a movie, but supernatural. It's not necessarily good. It's a lot of queer baiting. I get it. It's however.
Get it.
However, it's good. It's nice to watch.
You
know what?
Let's also say BuzzFeed Unsolved.
BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Supernatural.
Supernatural. So good.
Mwah.
Love it. Chef's kiss.
Take that, goat man.
Dancing on your bridge, goat man.
It's not your bridge no more.
Actually, would I classify it as paranormal as well? Because he's like a demon, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's
paranormal? There's a monster.
You're right. Yeah, I was trying to go for ghosts and stuff. What about you, Max? Well, you said paranormal. Devil still kind of goes with that.
Yeah, the Devil or the Mist, both are paranormal. Although I would say the thing with both the Devil and the Mist is that there are paranormal aspects, but the real terrifying part is the humans and what the people do to each other and what they become. I think that's what really gets you in the end. That's what you're thinking about after the movie finishes.
Amen.
Just a quick, give me a yes or no for this. What do you guys think about Gremlins? Yes or no?
No.
Yes.
No.
Love them. Yes.
All right,
100%.
Sweet. I'd love to hear it. All right, well, I'm afraid that is all the time we have to talk about the spooky scaries tonight. So coming up, Sophia gives us a bare bone breakdown of The Office. Don't go anywhere.
Teased by Liam 30 seconds ago, we've got a full Office breakdown presented by our very own Sophia. Put it in your eyes.
I'm not talking about books today. Don't get your hopes up. Book club will be coming back. Don't worry. Instead, I'm going to talk about my favorite TV show of all time, The Office. The Office aired for 9 seasons, and it's a mockumentary about the fictional paper company Dunder Mifflin, located in Scranton, Pennsylvania. I love this show more than life itself sometimes, so I wanted to give you a very bare-bones summary of the show, so y'all can see my opinions as a seasoned viewer. Season 1 only has 6 episodes, and it's the season most viewers can't get past. It's totally understandable because the humor's very dark, just like the original Office that aired in the UK. It wasn't appealing to American audiences, and I only like elements of each episode, aside from basketball, which I laugh at the whole time and quote all the time. So, it's my favorite episode in Season 1. Season 2 carries the blueprint for the main plotline surrounding Jim and Pam's love story. Jim loves Pam, Pam is engaged, but at the end of the season, she kisses him. So scandalous. Oh my god. Moving on. We also see relationships start to form between Dwight and Angela, and Michael embarks on many majorly stupid antics, like sleeping with his boss. Not a good move. But he redeems himself. My favorite of these antics he has is the Dundie Awards, and it's my favorite episode because all of the jokes land every single time you watch it. I have an unpopular opinion about season 3. I'm a huge fan. Did not like Karen, Jim's temporary love interest. And Andy in this season makes me so viscerally upset. So mad. The good thing about season 3 is that there are a lot of redeeming individual episode lines, and my favorite episode from the season is Benihana Christmas. It's the best Christmas episode in the season. We all know this. It's so funny. I love it. It's great. Season 4. Jim and Pam get together. Michael suffers the wrath of Jan. Sprinkles the cat is dead. I'm still not over it. The 4th season officially begins what I like to call the Office Renaissance. The subplots are so interesting. The characters are really blossoming, and you fall in love with them a lot more than you did in the beginning of the show. And there's so many good episodes. My favorite, though, is Dinner Party. It's considered the best of all time, but, you know, I like a lot of episodes of The Office. This just has some really well played out humor. I view season 5 as kind of a transitional season to cook up the meat and potatoes of the culmination of a lot of subplots. Jim and Pam get engaged while Pam's at art school, Michael and Toby's replacement Holly Flax fall in love, and who could forget the storage room? I mean the Michael Scott Paper Company. So sorry. My Dundie for this season is so hard to give out because there's so many good episodes, but my winner is Cafe Disco. It's right after the demise of the Michael Scott Paper Company, and it's very much a transitional episode to kind of move into the finale of the season. But it's so much fun to watch. I love it so much. There's also a shout out to my hometown, Youngstown, Ohio, so I really like that. That's a lot of fun. I'm also pushing to make the podcast room in the TV2 newsroom our own Cafe Disco. Just need Max to say yes. So, any day, buddy. Any day. Season 6 ends the Renaissance era with heavier topics like Dunder Mifflin's financial crisis being mixed in with what I consider possible finales to subplots. I say possible because a lot of these things do get dragged into season 7, like Jim and Pam getting married, having children, blah 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 blah. But we'll get into season 7 in a minute.
Who is it?
My favorite episode from this season is Murder. You could tell the cast had so much fun just doing stupid voices on set all day. I love it. I love Murder so much. It's so funny, and you just walk around doing a stupid southern accent. It's a great time. It's a great time. Season 7. Quite frankly, if you've watched the show, you know that it needed to end after Michael left to be with Holly Flax. From there, it didn't feel close to the same. I love Will Ferrell so much, and I'm so glad he was brought in, but his character, D'Angelo Vickers, is so annoying. I did not like him one bit. My Dundie for this season goes to Nepotism, the season opener, because the cold open is absolutely stellar. I love the don't bother Luke phenomenon, and my family calls me the coffee monkey, so that episode has a lot of personal attachment to me. Anyways, moving on. Boring, aside from Robert California, my favorite is Garden Party, because it's the only good episode in the season. Next. Here we are, the final season. This fantastic, amazing, groundbreaking show culminates in Jim and Pam having marriage problems, Andy having a full-blown mental breakdown, and Dwight securing the girl in his long-awaited position as regional manager. I think the whole season's really bad up until the finale, and my favorite episode is the finale, because it brings back Michael. There's so many fantastic endings to it. They did the show justice by ending it the way they did. With that, my crash course on The Office comes to a close. Thank you guys so much for listening to me ramble about my favorite show. And don't try to binge the show all at once. It'll be really, really hard.
That's what she said.
That's our show for tonight, folks. Be sure to follow our social media for all things ASG.
And check back next Wednesday at 9 for a very special Halloween episode. I'm Nick Thaman.
And I'm Jenica. All systems go, signing off.